Hey everyone, my name is Daniel, and in today's video, I'm going to introduce you to SharePoint agents and provide some guidance on how to use it. So the agents was actually first introduced in the Power Platform Community Conference, which was in October of 2024. But right around Ignite, which was November of 2024, it went GA and it appeared in my tenant. So after I got done testing and playing with it, I'm actually building this video just for you. So I'll start by showing you how to use the out-of-the-box SharePoint agent and then how to create your own custom SharePoint agent. So stick around, because now using agents, you can go and retrieve all of that knowledge from your existing SharePoint documents in a so much more simpler fashion. But first, here's my intro video. So a critical thing that you need to be aware of is that in order to use these agents in SharePoint, you do need to have that Microsoft 365 Copilot license. And I can quickly show you how you can identify whether you have that license or not. So if you have that license, when you come to your Microsoft365.com, which is the homepage, you will see your Copilot over here. Same thing, if you go to your SharePoint site, in this case, I'm on a site called Projects, in a document library, on the top right, you see this Copilot agent. Now, if you did not have that license, when you again come to your Microsoft365.com, you will not see that Copilot over here. In addition, if you go now to that same site, same document library, see on the top right, I am missing the SharePoint agent. So this is a clear way for you to right now go and check, hey, do I have this license or not? And are these agents available? So now that we've taken care of the license part, let me at least show you how the out-of-the-box SharePoint agent works, because if that itself is good enough for you, you may not even need to build a custom agent. So for every SharePoint site, as long as you have the Microsoft 365 license, on the top right, when you go and click on the Copilot, you will already have an out-of-the-box agent for that site. And so you can also see that the agent name is the exact same. Like right over here, the site name is Projects, and therefore the agent name is also Projects. But out of the box, pretty sophisticated. So let me actually show you one example. Okay, right over here, I'm going to just go ahead and ask something like this. It says, how many receipts do I have for November of 2024? And I'm going to go and click on enter over here, and it's working through this request. Now, I asked this question because I go and put in all my receipts over here. I go and actually even put it in my Excel spreadsheet. So all the content and the knowledge is here, but I don't have to go through and search for it one by one. See over here, it actually told me and gave me an overview just like that, all right? So the agent took care of that. It's actually telling me specifically for that month and year, not just as a vague answer, but a very specific answer. So it's telling me for that month of November in the year 2024, I actually have 1 receipt for the store, 2 receipts for dinner, miscellaneous receipts, and so on and so forth. Like, it's giving me very specific answers. Also, because of the type of question I ask, it is giving me a follow-up of other questions I may possibly need. So I like this idea. It says, hey, summarize the receipts. I'll just go and click on that, all right? It's going and giving me a summary of the receipts. It is working on it. And voila, right over here, for the ones that I just had before, okay, for the answers that it's giving me, this was just a quick list of the receipts I have and the count. But now below, it goes ahead and remembers the conversation that we are having, and it's giving me a summary of it. So in addition to that, I can also go ahead and take in some of the out-of-the-box ones. So for example, I click over here, it's loading again, and I'm just going to go and say, hey, summarize the files, all right? Not just specific receipts, summarize the files. So when I go and click on that, it puts it over here. I'll go and click on enter, and now it's working on that request. Again, it's looking for asterisks. Asterisks means it's actually going ahead and giving me an overview. Very similar to one of the answers that we saw before, but beautiful. I mean, imagine going and doing this file by yourself. Takes a lot of time. Another important tip for doing this is, say if you want to do a SharePoint migration from one site to another, from one tenant to another. In this case, you want to see, hey, how legit is this site? This is a good way to find out over here as well. Now, I just did an overview of this entire document. If you want to go ahead and do it for a specific file, all you have to do is just go ahead and select it. Once it is selected, when you go ahead and go back to your Copilot agent, watch on the bottom, it automatically goes and gives you a suggestion. It says, hey, ask a question about a file name, and guess what that file name is? That's the one that we selected over here. So with this selected, if I just go ahead and say summarize files, it already knows which file you want because you've selected over here. So I'll go and click on the enter or the send, and now it's going to go and summarize. It says, okay, combing through that document. And now very specifically, it'll go ahead and give me an overview of the information in that document. So do you see the power of the out-of-the-box agent? And again, as a summary, this is what happens for every SharePoint site. Every SharePoint out of the box already has this agent, and the agent name is the exact name as your site. And just to end for this section, I want to show you the power of agent and how much more sophisticated it is than just the everyday search. So just to demonstrate that to you, I'm going to go and uncheck this piece over here. And remember, this was the question that I asked, right? I'm going to go and paste it so you see how many receipts do I have for November of 2024. That's the question that I asked our agent. Now on the top over here, there is the search this library, very specifically to this library. I'm going to ask the exact same question, right? I'm going to go and say, how many receipts do I have for November of 2024, question mark. And if I hit enter, I literally get an answer like this. It says no items match your search. And it's also saying, hey, narrow your results with advanced search. So there is so much more sophistication from the agent side that you just cannot get that flexibility with the out-of-the-box search. So I've shown you the sophistication of the out-of-the-box SharePoint agent. However, if you need to create your own custom agent, I'm going to now walk you through how to build one. So before we create a SharePoint agent, I want to do a quick reminder of what the Microsoft 365 Copilot agent is. And I've already done a video on this, but this is a quick refresher because if you're already comfortable with building these agents, the adoption of the SharePoint one is going to be so much more faster. So here it is. On the top right is the panel, and if I go and click on it, you can actually see all the agents. I already have one created over here. And if you go take a look at it, where I'm going to go create an agent, I get either the describe or I get the configure. In the configure, you have these options, giving it a name, going in and giving it a logo, description, instructions, link to the sites, actions, which is still coming soon, and then you have all of these starter prompts. So if I show you a finished one, which I'll select the first one over here, you can actually see what the finished project is. Note this one thing, that over here in the starter prompts, I have up to 6. See over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have up to 6. I can go ahead and manipulate them however I want. I can even go ahead and delete some that I don't need. So for example, these last 2, I don't think I'm going to need them for this agent search. I'm going to go ahead and remove it right over here. It automatically gets removed, and I go ahead and do an update. I have this one little additional functionality here, which I just don't have on the SharePoint side. Just thought I'll show you that slight difference over here. But if you're already comfortable with this, the SharePoint piece is so much more easier and faster to adopt for you. So let's jump into one of those examples. I have over here a SharePoint site, and in that SharePoint site, I have a document library called Documents. But over here, I have 2 subfolders. One is called as a guide, and over here I've got some PDF files, and the other one is also called as license, again PDF files. Now these PDF files are not the type where you've actually gone and just scanned them and upload them. No, these are pretty good structured type of PDF files. You know, it has got good text over here, rich text function. All of this can actually be hovered over it. You can do copy and paste. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Rich text, but also very structured documents, not a scanned type of PDF documents. And I tell you that why? Because these documents, when they're uploaded, the SharePoint index can actually scan through all the content in this document and keep it ready for our Copilot to leverage it. So very important that I showed you what these documents were. But now that you've seen it, let's go back again to our documents and let's start creating our own agent. So there's 2 places you can go and create an agent. You go to the out-of-the-box agent. Once it's done loading, you click on the drop-down and you select Create an Agent. That's one place. Or the other easier one is right over here. See on the top navigation, you see Create an Agent. And either way, once you click over here or click over there, this pop-up window comes. Now notice how the initial introduction of this agent is so much more different than the Microsoft 365 one, because you're seeing the first effect of the SharePoint one. But when we came over here and when we clicked on it, this is what I saw. So there is some differences, but I like to do the side-by-side comparison just to show you the overall effect. So coming back over here, and right now it is already gone ahead and selected this documents. Now the agent is based on this resources is what it's telling us, but right at that root level. So what I'll do is I'll go and click on edit right now. And here is what the agent builder looks from the SharePoint perspective. It actually has 3 tabs on the top: identity, sources, and behavior. Again, let's toggle over to the Microsoft 365 one. And over here, we have only 2. describe and configure. Describe is basically using an agent to build an agent type of a scenario. But in the configure one, you actually just see these sections over here. There is now a new template functionality on the top, or there's also details, descriptions, so on and so forth. See that differences? So let's go back to our SharePoint one. And over here on the identity, I'm going to change this over to Microsoft Products Description and License Agent. All right, that's what I'm going to do. I'll also come to change over here. I like this image that I have. I'll select it and I'll put it. So this is now my agent profile picture as well. And then over here on the description, this is an agent curated based on the content from selected file sources. I'll go ahead and add another description. I'll go and expand that by saying to explain Microsoft products and the licenses associated with them. So I like this part over here. The name on the top is a little bit too big, so let me see if I can go ahead and make it a little smaller. Still doesn't like it, so I'll go ahead and change that Microsoft to MSFT. Let's see if it takes that. Perfect, it took that over here. Everything is good. Now let me go and switch over to sources. In the sources, it has automatically gone and taken the root of the document. See that one right over here. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go and click on remove, and here in the plus document libraries folders of files, click on it and it will go at this pop-up box, and now it's already showing me the root. So for this example, I'll go and select both of them, the guide and the license. I've got two selected. It's telling me that I have two selected on the bottom left of this window, but now I'll actually click on the select button. So there you go. I have two of these, and it's important to know that is that if you want to go down to the subfolders, it's best that you actually remove the one from the root folder, because that can be confusing. Remove the one from the high top one, which is our documents, and then go and add all the subfolder ones. All right, so I've got all of this, which is pretty neat. Now let me go to the behavior. Behavior over here is very similar to this section over here, specifically on the agent that we build on the Microsoft 365 side. Because you see, have this details, instructions, details, the name, description, instructions. You see that similarity is coming over here. First of all, on the behavior, it's the welcome message. I like this welcome message over here, which is good. See on the starter prompts, this is what I was telling you before, that you only have 3 over here, and all I can do is edit it. I can't even delete any of the existing 3. On this one, on this side, I was able to even delete these existing 3 prompts which were there and do a maximum of 6. So again, that's the difference, all right? So back over here, I like what I see. I confirm that the prompts I have added over here are actually visible on that side. So in this case, I'll go ahead and click on save. And so now the save is being done. It says agents under documents, all is created over there. And I'll go ahead and X out of that one. Now, if I go back over here to my documents and refreshed it, you see that our agent file is directly sitting in that document library. And the file name is .agent. And if you're interested, just go and click on it. And now a pop-up window of that agent shows up as well. This is the exact same pop-up window that you actually see right over here on the right side. So if I just go and do a quick refresh just to make sure that everything is good, we go back to our agent, and in our drop down over here, you will see our new agent. This is the one that we just created. And if I click over here, you've got all of this information. So what you see over here is the exact same thing if you go ahead and click on that. In fact, it also gives us that option over here. So if I go and click on the ellipsis and the open, it's telling you, you want to do a full screen view or a sidebar view. The full screen view is the one that we just saw. But you know what? If you're ever interested, go ahead, click on the ellipsis, go ahead and download it, like right there. Download it, and you'll take a look at that file right over here. If I go ahead and open it up in my Notepad++, if I just go to my view and I go ahead and do a word wrap, you will actually see that this is the type of almost XML type of code which is available. Just out of a curiosity, it's very difficult to actually digest what you're seeing over here, but this is your full-blown agent in the backend code. Just thought I'll show you that piece, all right? So we're gonna come back over here and you will see that here is my agent. So it's important for you to know this agent piece because that's the way you're gonna delete it. And just to be sure, see in our agent, this is the same one. If I come over here on the ellipsis side, if I go and click on edit, you will see that this is the place over here. Now I come back to the sources, I come back to the behaviors. I do not have a delete option. That is another thing. Like even if I click on the add advanced, that's just this, it just says coming soon. There's no delete option over here. And again, this is different because on the Microsoft 365 side, if I want to go ahead and delete any of my agents, I actually go to the view agents, I click over here, I can actually delete it at this level. That functionality is not available on SharePoint. So what you have to do right now to delete this is literally go ahead and delete this agent files. And once you delete it, Give it a few minutes, because then you will see that your agent has actually gone from right over here. All right, keep that in mind. Now, since I'm right over here, I want to show you this one other feature. When you have your agents, when you select it, you come over here. Now, if you click on these ellipses, there is something called set as approved. So if I click on it, this message comes up. It says, set this as an approved agent for this site. Approved agents are specifically selected by site owners, which means you got to have that site admin table access to be available in the agent picker of a site. These agents are accessible to all site visitors as they explore this site. So I'm going to say that's fine with me. I am already a site owner, so I'm just going to say set an approved agent. And what it will do is it will actually move it from the below piece. It says, okay, below piece to the top one. And right over here, it says this agent is now approved. So I'll click on OK. And if you come back over here, you see that our new agent has moved from the bottom right to the top. So now actually there are two approved lists. So now actually there are two approved agents. This is the one that we just created. And it can be viewed by even the visitors who come in over here. Very, very important piece. But now that we've created the agent, let's do a quick test. I'll come back over here and I'm going to say, give me an overview of Dynamics 365 licenses, right? I'll just go and do that. So now it says working on a request. I'll look for the Dynamics 365 licenses overview. It's actually doing an overview right over here. And therefore, it's actually giving me that same type of information in detail. And it's done a nice job. It's breaking it down based on what the October of 2024. And it's giving me basically that file name. And it's basically telling me, hey, here was the overview based on, and that's the file name. This is right over here. If I click on the licenses, you see that file name, the entire file name, because for some reason in this file I'm ending with open brackets 1 close brackets. Well, it didn't miss it. It's actually telling me that's the file. And if I hover over it, it even does that. I mean, this is fantastic. Remember, your out-of-the-box search doesn't do such a good job of giving you a good summary. Yeah, you might get some results for your search, but not a summary like this. This is fantastic. I mean, look at the breakdown. It gave you an overview, description, and now a breakdown. Hey, I'm going to give it to you based on the applications, add-in application and capacity, user rights, license structure, and then even a conclusion. It doesn't get any better than this, right down to the documents level. So that's the big use case of having your agents specifically for your documents library. And I want to emphasize on that. It only works for your documents libraries. And so for example, I have over here something called as event itinerary. That's a list. But see on the top, I don't have anything for a list. And on the top, even the SharePoint Copilot has disappeared. So you see that difference, that right now it is only available for the document library, and you immediately know whether it's there or not. So I want to end this video by you and I taking a look at some frequently answered questions which Microsoft has already made available to us. So here is the link to an important website. I've taken it and put it down in the description below. A good one for you to bookmark as well. If I scroll all the way to the bottom, you have this FAQ and data handling. Click on that, because that gets you to this very important FAQ type of questions. And over here, there are 4 specific ones that I want us to take a look at. First one is, are agents available to SharePoint Online classic sites? And the answer to that is yes, but only from the content standpoint, because it says the user experience for creating and using agents is only available in SharePoint Online. However, when creating an agent from a modern site, you can select any site and knowledge, and that any site could be a classic site as well, specifically its documents. Very important one. So that's the first one. Second is the limit of sources. So right over here, what's the limit of number of sources I can include for the knowledge source of an agent? So when I expand it, right away it says that currently you can include up to 20 source items as the knowledge of an agent. These source items can be sites, document libraries, folders, and files. If you have the need for more than 20 items, you can nest that data, blah, blah, blah. But here it is, 20 files, 20 sites, 20 folders. In that 20 can be a breakdown of 10 files and 10 sites, or 4 folders and 16 sites. But overall, 20 is that max number, and you pick and choose how you want to break it down. An example being 10 files or 10 sites, or 4 folders and 16 files. So since we're talking about files over here, the third question I want to take a look at is, what files are supported by the agent? And these are the ones right over here. It says that currently the following file types are supported. So important ones are the Word ones, such as Doc, DocX, PowerPoint, PowerPoint X, and the XLSX. For Excel, it does not have an XLX, okay? It has that XLSX. And then you also have these ones, the new Microsoft 365 Fluid ones, for the Loop ones, PDF ones, ASPX, which is usually a type of a page, which used to be a type of a SharePoint page, HTML, HTML, so on and so forth. It also gives you something which is at least exciting to me, is that the support for the following file formats is coming soon, and that includes images and even your OneNote notebooks. And last but definitely not the least, permissions. And even that answer is given over here, because the question is, what can each user role do with agents in SharePoint? Expand it, let me scroll down a little bit, and here is the breakdown in form of a table. So you've got these three different categories, which you and I already know, SharePoint users. There is visitors, members, and then site owners. But these are the different categories where if you just want to interact with agents, well, that's fine. Either one of these work. But if you want to create a new agent, then you need to be at least a member with edit permissions or a site owner. Same thing happens. If you want to delete it, only these two categories can work on that. But as far as now approve an agent for the site, remember the approval one that I showed you, or set an agent as a default, that's another functionality. Only site owners can do that. So sharing an agent also can be done by site visitors and site members. So you've got this level of granular permissions to manage your agent in SharePoint. Just be aware of these functionalities. So these were the 4 important ones that I wanted to take a look at from the FAQ. So in conclusion, I want to point out that the option to take this no-code SharePoint agent and enhance it in Copilot Studio is coming soon. You see the button on the bottom, and when you click on it, it actually comes up with the pop-up menu saying that it is coming soon. But hey, even the out-of-the-box functionality is fantastic, and I hope you start using it. So hopefully this video gets you excited. Go ahead and build your agents for whatever document type of scenarios that you see fit. And as always, keep using agents. Hello, hello, hello. So if you like this video, go ahead and click on that subscribe button and smash that like button. Also, if you have a few extra seconds, can you go ahead and put in a comment? Either say something nice or give me ideas for my next video. And until then, see ya.